welcome to the show. Today I'm delighted to be speaking with Krzysztof Gil, whose exhibition Nobody Wants You Here at the Zachęta National Gallery of Art here in Warsaw explores themes of exclusion and identity through painting, sculpture and installations. Together we'll discuss the personal experiences, artistic choices and social questions that shape this powerful and timely body of work. Hello and welcome, sir. Delighted to have you with us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, of all the paintings on display, which one do you feel offers the clearest insight into the themes of this exhibition?
I think there's one painting that describes in a good way my intentions for this exhibition. The painting is called The Sunday Afternoon, and it's based on Sera painting in the same title. I decided to work with this painting of Sera because for me it was like a perfect example of the view of 19th century society. And the picture of Sera, we see aristocracy, the bourgeoisie, and also the working class. So I decided to make it a little bit more contemporary, and I put it two very important characters, two new characters in that picture. So the exhibition focuses on the identity, but also because my identity, I'm a Polish citizen with Romani heritage. So I know from my own background the case of, the exclusion, many difficulties that are, connected to my Roma identity. But I'm the voice from inside. So this exhibition for me, on one hand, it's like, giving you the voice of inside, because I speak about many difficult aspects based on my Romani heritage, but in the broader, more universal language. So in a sense, like the whole exhibition for me, it's in one hand, I like to show the Polish citizens that this is a story not only about Romani people, but first of all, like Polish citizens, like I am. So this is like a part of our also like a broader Polish history. And in that, I also ask about, the questions that I think that many people around the world are asking about, differences, identities, migrations, how we perceive the other, the figure of the other. And first of all, I show in this exhibition like the essence of it, that behind these facades, behind these stereotypes, first of all, are humans. And humans have we are more connected to the other than we think.
So the exhibition centers on this idea of a ghetto as both a historical but also as a contemporary phenomenon. So what inspired you to revisit this concept today?
The situations that we all witness all around the world, and areas of many areas of the world, the conflicts, the wars, and the aspects that we are dealing with radical, violence against, human rights. So this is like the thing that I was, thinking about for all like maybe 4 years. And of course, I cannot connect to the situations that are, on the other continents in the other countries, but I can refer to my own experience as a person that was dealing with many stereotypes, exclusions, and etc.
Because you grew up in a Roma settlement here in Poland, and you had to navigate this dual Polish-Roma identity. So could you share more about this experience with us?
It's actually quite interesting because I was, on the one hand, living in a very normal, neighborhood. But in Poland, there was, this, after Second World War, there was this politics, guided to Roma community, and they will, like in many places, the Roma that had the nomadic life need to stop traveling. But also the Romani people who didn't know the nomadic life, as I'm from Romani people from the mountains, they called Bergitka, and we settled down in 15th century in south of Poland. So we didn't know the nomadic life. But, the politics after the Second World War decided to move Romani people from the places that they lived from centuries, then put them in the new buildings that they made like in the 50s. And the larger group of people were put in the center of the city, the Romani people. So in a way, the my home and my neighbors like were normal people, but the etiquette of the Romani settlement, the let's say so-called ghetto, I was dealing with that all my life.
So you speak about these mechanisms of exclusion. I was wondering, how does your art reveal that or perhaps challenge that? Could you give us an example?
I work with art history mostly, like old art, and because art is also a view of the times that it was created. So it's a very great inspiration to search for connections and patterns that I think appear also in modern times. So that's why I decided to also put this Serra painting, because it was actually in the times that it was made in the 19th century in France, when Serra put the working class with the aristocracy. It was like a scandal then. So, in a way, this is like a way to communicate, because I put the new, as I was referring before, I put the new characters in it that was inspired by this propaganda movie from the 50s. And it was a propaganda movie to show like the Romani people will be welcome in the cities and gonna have a wonderful life. And in one hand, it was a very beautiful movie made in the like aesthetics of a fairy tale. But actually, the promise was never, never happened. So in a sense, I'm showing like a perspective from the person inside that system. Yeah, because I am an educated person. My family is an educated person. We work. We are normal people, but we were dealing always with the facade of stereotypes. So in a sense, this is like a thing that is very based on actually our stereotypes that are built from many centuries actually. And art history shows that in a very good way when we think about paintings that show us people from different countries, let's say Romani people that are dealing with this nomadic life, or they are making this magic and stuff like that. This is also like the view that was built from many centuries that now we like in present time Romani people, Romani academics, artists, and many deal with, to somehow reverse that and make like a new statement.
But your artwork avoids direct representation of violence or some of these
Yes.
limitations. So why is this indirect approach so effective and important?
I think that first of all, this is my private statement. I think that if you want to connect with people or make a dialogue with people, you need to somehow search for a way that for this visual language, that actually that connection will be possible. If I'm gonna make an exhibition that is like directly violent, uh, and as we know all today, we have like many views from very dramatic pictures that we see in the news from many parts of the world. And I think that people need somehow like a different approach to dealing with difficult topics. And for me, like, I think that stronger I can connect with people that when I paint something that is not very direct, but actually it gives you some clues of the topics that I would like to show in my artworks.
Krzysztof, I'd like to get into the specifics of the exhibition, if you don't mind. I was wondering if you
Yes.
could reveal to us the meaning behind the watermelons and the artificial grass. Could you perhaps paint us a picture of the exhibition?
The room that you are actually referring to with the grass and with the watermelon, for me is like is a symbolical courtyard, like a courtyard for everybody. There are, this plastic chairs that we all know all around the world from many continents, rich or poor people. And there are actually many chairs in that part of the exhibition. And the chairs are actually there because, as I said before, for me, this exhibition is a way to deal with difficult topics because I think that also we need to learn to talk about difficult topics in that not violent way. And this chairs is like an invitation for that kind of discussion. And the watermelons has like two meanings for me because I made a cycle of paintings like 4 years ago, and the stereotypes that I was talking before in art history about Romani people, there was a painter named Kozakiewicz from the 19th century. And that painter painted like large pieces of describing like Roma settlements in the 19th century in Poland. And actually, in that time, in 19th century, all around, the world, art history was like very fascinated by Orientalism. And also in Poland, that was very popular. So he didn't actually depicted the Romani settlements as they were, but he was creating he brings different objects to make the picture look more exotic. So he made like a couple of paintings of this Romani girl with watermelons, and this practice, when you think about the 19th century and the Romani settlements, like a watermelon was, a very like a delicacy, like always it was like in 19th century dedicated to rich people. So. That was the first inspiration to show the stereotypes that are behind the picture, to show how the mechanism, how these pictures were actually built. But now, like for me, this watermelons like drastically changed their meaning. For me now there are some kind of like kind of solidarity for the people in the Middle East in Gaza.
And the title of the exhibition, Nobody Wants You Here, is also emotionally charged. So what message would you like the viewers to take away from it?
First of all, I would like to encourage the viewers, first of all, to deal with this layered narration, difficult narration. But I think that all stories need to, be like laid out to the viewers and somehow make to find a dialogue between them. But like the broader meaning is for me to actually see in that situations not the groups of people, because when we are thinking about groups of people, we in a sense dehumanize them. So when we think about Romani people, we think a group and we think with stereotypes. But behind that, there are always, mother, father, sister, brother, like people, individual people who has emotions, who has, their rights as a human beings. So this is like my intention in that topic, that we could actually treat it first of all as our history, Polish-Romani history, but not building a walls or, accusing somebody of something, but to say, hello, it was like that. And can we talk about it and maybe know each other, talk with each other and discuss? Because I truly believe that today, the thing that could make somehow, like a difference is connecting with people in discussions.
Krzysztof Gil, thank you so very much for joining us today and for sharing your experience. Much appreciated.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.